Hello and welcome. I'm so happy to have you here for this week's Tuesday training. My name is Amber Ludwig and I am an online business development expert. I started my company back in 2007, and when I started, I only offered websites as a service. And now, since 2007, we've built over 200 WordPress websites for authors, speakers, coaches, and entrepreneurs around the globe. And everything that I teach them is based on my own experience of what works in a website and what does not. So I hope you are ready. Get out your pen and piece of paper, take lots of notes today, because I'm going to tell you what specifically is missing in your website that actually is hurting your results. Website and see if you need to improve on that area, and if so, definitely start making a to-do list and contact your virtual assistant or your website person and get these changes done immediately. If you need support and you don't have a webmaster, contact me. We have a team of 9 ready to support you to make these changes happen so that you are getting results. Okay? So let's begin. We're going to start with that first impression, like I mentioned. When somebody comes to your website, you have 3 to 5 seconds to make a visual impression on that person. And I don't know how to explain this. It's sort of an intuitive process, right? Because sometimes you go to a website and you think, wow, it looks so beautiful. I feel the energy of it. It's refreshing. It's modern. It seems like this person knows a lot about their topic. But then you go to websites where it looks really outdated and sketchy and disorganized, and it's kind of a mess, right? And it actually affects the way that you view that person's credibility, right? You start to think, do they really know about their topic? When's the last time that they were even on their website, etc.? So that first impression is really important. Now, a lot of times, people are going to go and they're going to try to save money on building their website, so they're going to go get a pre-made template, right, for their website. The same template that thousands of other people have. And if you're not careful, if you're not customizing that template so that you look unique, so that you're standing out, so it doesn't look like a template, that can actually really hurt your results. When a new client comes on board with me and they know that they need to either improve their existing website, get a redesign, or they're starting from scratch, we always have this conversation on the 2 routes you can go. You can get a pre-made theme, or you can get a custom designed website that is only specific to you. If we decide, because of budget reasons, that we want to go with a pre-made template, then we absolutely need to customize it. You can get a custom designed header that has your photo or your company logo and a tagline and some colors that are unique to you. I highly encourage that. So our designers are custom branding these headers, and I would strongly encourage you to do that versus just having a logo and there's nothing else there. You have to give your website some personality, make it come alive. Another area that you can have designed is your opt-in box, and this is where people are subscribing to your email list. This is really important as well, because on a lot of these pre-made templates out there, and I don't even know why this is, but the opt-in box is either hidden down on the page or it's a very muted color. You want that opt-in box to really pop out on the page. And to give you an example of this, if you go to my website at insightfuldevelopment.com, then you'll be able to see an example of how that opt-in box just comes right out of the page at you. So that website has a very white, open feel, but the opt-in box is this bright blue color. And not only that, but I have a picture of my ebook cover right inside of that opt-in box to grab your attention even more. And people are very visual, especially these days online. So having that kind of graphic is really going to make your opt-in box come alive. It'll visually attract the person's eye right to that area, and that's what you want. You want people to subscribe to your email list, which we'll talk about a little bit more further down into this video. But if you're going to go the pre-made route, get a custom header and a custom opt-in box, and there are other things that your web person can do to make it look more fresh, make it look more unique to you. That's what we're doing for our clients. But the other route is if you go with a custom website design, and this is an entirely different process. So instead of going and looking at all the different themes that are already available and buying one, we're actually starting from scratch, and we're looking at your brand, we're looking at your core message, the exact audience that you're trying to attract, and the colors that represent your personality and your brand, a logo if you have one, your photo if you have one. And what we're going to do is literally design the whole website from scratch. And this is by far the best way to go if you have the budget for it and can invest in that option, because it's a website completely unique to you. You look like nobody else. It's going to stand you apart in the marketplace, and it's going to provide the exact look and feel that is most attractive to your client, your target client. Okay, so that's why a custom route is so much better. And there are lots of different developers and designers out there that can help you with this. You could always look to find somebody that offers like really affordable payment plans. I know that we do that for our customers. But regardless of which route you go, the important thing here to really understand is that you have 3 seconds to make a visual impression on that visitor. So you've got to spend the time and the effort and the energy and the money to invest in a design that is really going to showcase your professionalism, your quality, your expertise, your personality, etc. Because if you don't have that visual impression of, oh, this is nice, well, then they're probably going to leave and not come back. So keep that in mind. But then if you pass that first 3-second test, you get to move on to the next 3 to 5 second test, which is when people are really looking to see if your message is clear. You know, who are you, what do you do, and who do you do it for? That is what somebody's trying to know right off the bat, because that visitor is trying to distinguish if they're in the right place to get the solution that they need or not. And how many times are you searching for something on Google and you get to a website and it looks outdated, abandoned, you can't even tell what the person is doing. It's very confusing, the navigation is messy, the content is disorganized, and you don't even know what's going on, so you hit the back button. Well, what if people are doing that about your website? And it's definitely an important question to ask. If you don't know if this is happening on your website, then you can get Google Analytics, which is a tracking code that's placed on your website that will show you your bounce rate. The bounce rate is how many people are going to your website and bouncing out of it right away. They're hitting that back button, they're exiting out. If you have a very high bounce rate, such as 80%, let's say, there's a problem here in your design or your message and if it's being displayed clearly or not. If you have a lower bounce rate in the 30, even the 50% ranges is really at the high end of that, then you're kind of in the safe zone, but don't kid yourself, you can always improve. So how do you make your message really crystal clear? Well, one of the issues that my clients have right off the bat is they feel like they're really confused about their message. They don't really know who their perfect target client is. And I'm not saying perfect target audience. You need to market to one person. What does that one person need? What is their state of mind when they come to your website? What is the pain that they're looking to overcome or solve? And so doing the work to really understand who that client is and what they're looking for, what your core message is, what makes you different in the marketplace, these are all really important things to spend time on. And if you are like so many of my clients, it's hard to do this on your own, right? Because you just end up totally confusing yourself, or you start looking at your competition or other people out there, and then you only start to feel less than or insecure or more stressed out and overwhelmed about it. So it's really important that you have somebody that you trust that can sit down with you and ask you questions to extract out what makes you different, what your core message is, who your ideal client is. Then at that point you can go back to your website and update your content. And there is a specific way that you can write your content content to get better results online, and that's really not what this video is about, but with future videos, absolutely. And if you go to my website at insightfuldevelopment.com, I have a free tab at the top navigation, and within that free section there's a copywriting teleseminar that I did with a colleague of mine who's an award-winning copywriter, and you can get free access to that teleseminar replay if you would like to really learn how to write content that's going to sell online. But first, you really have to get clear about who you're marketing to. And so again, you really want to go back and revisit that. But also, I just want to say, don't put too much pressure on yourself, because your message really does tend to evolve over time. For example, when I first got started, I said, I'll build websites for everybody. And then what happened is I started to attract certain clients where I just couldn't get turned on about their project, or I would have a project that I vastly underquoted and then we went overboard. So it took me several years to really identify exactly who I wanted to work with and what my core message was. It can evolve. So for now, do your very best to write down content based on what you believe to be true about who you're trying to appeal to, and then know it can evolve over time. So what we've talked about so far is you have that first 3 seconds to make the visual impression. If you pass the test, you have another 3 seconds for it to become really clear about who you are, what you do, and who you do it for. Now, if at that point the website visitor feels that, okay, I'm in the right place, then you have more time. This is when they're really going to search around your website and look at other areas, and hopefully it results in getting people to opt into your email list. So one of the things that I suggest next in terms of what might be missing in your website is really high quality, valuable content, okay? And this can come in the form of your blog, of a podcast, a video gallery, something to that effect, where you're giving free, valuable education to your audience. And I think it's no surprise that I am all about this, because I am constantly blogging and doing videos and being featured on podcasts, etc. So, I am a huge advocate of giving away the farm. Some people might be thinking, oh, I don't want to do that. Shouldn't they hire me to get the answer? And here's what I say to that. I'm on this video cast every single week giving away the farm for sure. I'm giving you such great targeted information. And the thing is, though, is that nobody's going to probably go to my YouTube channel and start sitting there for hours upon hours upon hours watching all of the videos. And some people will, but hey, more power to you. But most people, they want to know specifically what they need to do versus more generalized information. So right now, I'm giving you specifics, but you might be thinking, well, Amber, I have no idea if my content is on point or not. I have no idea if I have a good-looking website or not. And so that's when a lot of times clients will, reach out to me and they'll want that extra hand-holding and they'll hire me to do so. So absolutely, if you want to get your website reviewed by me, I actually have this really cool process where I set up a video screencast and I'm walking through every single angle of your website, every detail, and I'm telling you exactly what I think you should change in order to get better results, and offering you different suggestions on how to structure your content. Or just yesterday I was doing this for a client and I said, ooh, you should not be putting your buy now button right here. That's going to kill your results. So I get really, really granular with you, and if that's something you want, you can send me a contact form request. I'm happy to have that conversation with you. But when it comes to content, if you tell people what they need to focus on, they're going to want to know more from you, if that resonates with them. Right now you might be watching this and thinking, oh, my website's perfect, and I would probably beg to differ, but many of you are going to be watching this video and thinking, wow, I am like really needing to get on board here with updating my website, otherwise what kind of a business do I really have online? So having really strong educational content on your blog, having a podcast, having a video gallery, even looking at your services pages. And under your services tab, let's say that you offer coaching. Are you just sitting there talking about oh, you can hire me for, a 6-month commitment and a bi-weekly phone call, and this is how much it is, and it's more all about you and what you're offering. Instead, what if you use that opportunity to, in addition, talk about that person's pain that they're feeling when they arrive on the page and identifying with that pain? That's a way for you to build rapport with that person. Then what if you talk about some solutions, some action steps that they can be taking to better their situation? Then say, this is just a sampling of what I could offer you if we were to do some one-on-one coaching together. Then these are the results that I've gotten in my coaching to date, and this is the process, and I would love to have a conversation with you to get to know each other and see if coaching is a right fit for you. Totally different experience for that customer that's visiting your website for the first time. A lot of times when somebody is visiting your website for the first time, they're not ready to make a buying decision on the spot. It's a dance. They want to get to know you a little bit better. They want to see your value, your expertise, your credibility, and these are all things that you sort of need to prove in a sense, especially given how much competition is online right now. So your content really has to rock, and again, you can be updating your content and letting it evolve over time. In fact, I very commonly suggest to people that they go back through their blog once a quarter or once every 6 months to weed out any content that is completely outdated and irrelevant now, so that anytime somebody comes to your website, they are only getting that fresh content. Another mistake that you might be making on your website that's hurting your results is not having multiple opt-in offers and boxes on your website. So like I mentioned at insightfuldevelopment.com, if you go there, on the top right sidebar, you'll see an opt-in offer for a free ebook called The 7 Deadliest Mistakes You're Making on Social Media. And wow, does that report seriously rock. So you should look into that. But then also at the very bottom footer area, I have another opt-in box that says, want more of this type of content? Opt in and I'll give you updates. But then I also have another opt-in box at the bottom of each of my blog posts, so that when they're done reading the content, I ask them if they'd like to opt in for more content like this. So I have those 3 opt-in boxes on all of my websites pretty much, and that's really, really effective to make sure that everybody sees at least one of them and will go ahead and opt into my email list from there. But also on that website, like I mentioned, I have that free tab at the top. And when you hover on that, there's a drop-down menu of multiple different pages where you can get access to high-level training for me for free. All you need to do is opt in, except there are 2 that don't have an opt-in offer on there, and I just give it to you because I really want to make sure that I'm not always forcing people to opt in or forcing them to buy to get that value from me. So I personally like to have a little bit of a mix. But you'll see right on that list, you can sign up for a secret weapon website webinar replay, a copywriting teleseminar replay, a talking back to your inner critic ebook and audio that's going to help you overcome fear and obstacles in your life. It's a step-by-step process that I developed. So there's all kinds of different opt-in offers, and just today I'm going to be adding another one about video marketing, and I'm constantly repurposing content and creating new content, and much of which I can give away in exchange for somebody's email address. And of course, if you're giving the value in your content, they're going to stay loyal to you and they're going to want to be on your email list. So having multiple different opt-in offers is really going to help you take advantage of the opportunity that you have to continue that conversation with people. And that's why you want to have a really solid email marketing plan, that when people are signing up for your email list, you're emailing them regular content that is building rapport and showcasing all of your talent within those emails. And so and another example that I'll give you really quick is on my main website, amberludwig.com. Toward the footer area, then you're probably watching this video on this website right now, but toward the footer area, I have an opt-in bar where you can actually join a private Facebook group for free free if you just opt in, and it's really where I am showcasing some unbelievable strategies that I don't talk about anywhere else. Just today, in fact, I gave a very internal strategy for how I am connecting with other companies to feature my services under their umbrella to get a flood of new clients my way. And I literally gave away the entire strategy of how I'm doing it through that Facebook group. And so really be getting creative about the different types of opt-in offers that you can have, and have multiple of them on your website. That way, again, you can capture that email address and continue the conversation. Another mistake that you might be making is really with your call to action. You should have multiple different calls to action on your website, but a lot of times people miss the boat on this because they're uncomfortable, or they're nervous, or they don't want to be pushy, or whatever that limiting belief is. But the reality is if you don't tell people what to do next, what are they going to do? They're going to leave your website. So I am very clear about suggesting that people opt into my email list, or sign up for a free strategy session, or watch this video, or connect with me on Facebook, especially at the end of blog posts. Don't just end your blog post. Tell them what to do next. Do you want them to share it on social media? Do you want them to make a comment? For example, at the end of this video, I'm going to ask you to make a comment on this video and let me know what you're planning on changing in your website, any takeaways or questions that you have, so that we can continue the conversation and I can continue to add value to your life, because that's really what it is. It's just an exchange of value. Really look at your call to action even on social media. So this is true outside of your website as well. You want to make sure that you're very clear about what you want people to do next. But the secret ingredient here is the why. Most people just completely blow this off, and you don't have to do it every time. But for example, if you're on social media and you have somebody and you're promoting your blog post, let's say, and you say, go click on the link below and read my blog post. But then you never share why. So be sure to add something in there about the benefit somebody is going to get if they do in fact go read your blog post, so that you can sleep better at night, or to reduce your stress, or to get my 3-step formula to improving relationships. Whatever that why is, the why should be infused in all of your content all the time, so that people really understand your intention and they see exactly what's in it for them. Okay? The next mistake that you might be making on your website is that you're not properly leveraging social proof, okay? Social proof is so important for proving your credibility, proving that you do have working clients, and that people are loving your service and your content. There are lots of different ways that you can have social proof. For example, the obvious one is testimonials. By showcasing testimonials on your website, and not just on a testimonials page, but I usually have a rotating testimonials sitting in my sidebar. I usually have one in the footer as well. I'll disperse testimonials on multiple pages across my website, as well as having a main testimonial page, because it's social proof that I'm credible, I'm good at what I do, I get people results, my content is valuable, I'm fast at what I do. I mean, you can't get much better than those types of testimonials. Another way, actually one more thing I want to add about testimonials is if you can add the person's photo next to the testimonial, that will dramatically increase your conversion rates as well, and make sure that people have a connection when they're actually reading that testimonial. So see if you have permission to add people's photos to your testimonials as well. Another way that you can have social proof on your website is actually through social media sharing buttons. For example, below this post, if you're on my website, you'll see a little row of different social media icons where you can actually share this page on your social networks, which of course I encourage you to do. Thank you in advance. But this is social proof that people are liking and sharing your content, that people are active on your website and they're getting a lot of value out of what you're doing. Anytime that you can have that kind of social proof is great. Another way to add credibility is you've seen on certain websites the as seen in area, and you'll have an NBC logo, an ABC, Huffington Post, New York Times. That absolutely adds to your credibility and your social proof. Anytime that, for example, you can run a telesummit. And if you, for example, I'm in a summit right now called the Online Video Business Video Marketing Summit. And, Mari Smith is in the lineup, and she is very, very famous. And so the person hosting that summit instantly gets social proof that he's in the know, that he is working with credible people, that he's a top player, and that he has connections, and boom, social proof and credibility just got added. So anytime that you can leverage relationships or opportunities like that, the better. Okay, so that social proof is going to be really, really important. Another thing that I want to add about what's missing in your website, and I have to give a shout out to my friend Greg Hickman. I just had a coffee date with him last Friday, and he is a mobile marketing expert. And we had this whole long conversation about how critical it is that your website is mobile friendly, and not just mobile friendly, but responsive. Responsive means that if you have your website here, it's contained within the width of a screen. But let's say that you're on an iPhone, what happens is your website literally starts to shift down and becomes longer and less wide so that it fits the mobile screen better and the content is bigger. So that's responsive, is that it's responding to the screen width. And now, he totally nailed me, because all of the websites that I had been building to date were mobile friendly. They fit within the width, they looked good, but they weren't responsive. And he smacked me down hard, and he said, Amber, you have to start doing responsive, period, end of story. So what did I do? I listened, and I immediately emailed our programming team, and I said, we're switching everything, we're making everything responsive, go. And so absolutely talk to your website person and make sure that it's not just mobile friendly, but it is responsive. I had to give him that shout out there and be fully transparent about it. So Greg Hickman was his name. And there's just one other kind of random thing that I want to add about what might be missing in your website, just because I think it's really important and often overlooked, and that is having a terms of use page and a privacy policy page. Most people completely overlook this, like I mentioned, but it's actually really important that you're doing everything legally so that you're protected. Your privacy policy is in place. It has to be there if you have an opt-in box where anybody can opt in to your email list. This is really important because your privacy policy is telling people what you're going to do with that email address, that you're not going to sell it, rent it, share it, etc. How can people unsubscribe? If you go to any of my websites and scroll down to the footer, you'll be able to see my terms of use page and my privacy policy page. But if you are going to use mine as a template or a sample, I'm going to tell you right now that I really want you to have yours looked over by a lawyer, because I cannot say that mine is going to fit your industry or your needs, or that it's going to fully protect you. So there's my little disclaimer there, to hire a professional. Your terms of use page is going to really be important if you're taking online payments, even through PayPal. So saying that you don't store credit card information, you're talking about your refund policy, a shipping policy, if any. So really make sure that that's one of the first things I would have you do, is make sure to add those pages so that you are protected. And really, we've covered a lot today, and I know that I went through the material pretty quickly because I wanted to end on time. But those are really some of the most critical things that might be missing in your website that could be hurting your result. And like I mentioned, I hope you took a lot of notes so that you can see what you need to improve upon. If you want my help, if you want me to go through your website, I can make a 30 to 45-minute video for you, getting really granular about what I'm seeing with your opt-in offer and your process. I actually opt into your email list, and I will go through the whole process and even tell you if your email is not, if your welcome email autoresponder is not working, or if it is. I mean, I get really, really detailed with you. So if you'd like to have my help and talk about if that's a fit for you, just send me an email through my contact page, and I'll reach out to you today. Otherwise, send me a comment below And let me know kind of what you think about this video, what you're planning on changing in your website, any insights that you got, so we can continue the conversation and I can add more value to your life. And of course, I would be really honored if you would subscribe to my YouTube page to get notifications when new videos are available, as well as sharing this content on your social networks so that more people can really get value from what I'm trying to share, because I really want to help people share their message even more. So I want to thank you again for your time. I'm really honored that you took that time out of your schedule today to watch me, and I'll look forward to talking to you next week. Thanks again.